Let's be blunt about the finish line. We all picture ourselves crossing it in our late 80s, vibrant and strong. But the hard data tells a different, crueler story. The average life ends closer to 82, and often not from a sudden, dramatic illness. It's a slow fade, caused by choices we make every day, by whispers from our body we choose to ignore, by mental habits that quietly drain our vitality, our awareness, our very connection to life. If you're over 60, please listen closely. This is not a lecture, this is a critical check-in. Because the decisions you make over the next year could be the difference between a slow decline and a powerful finish. And stay with me, because the last point is the one we feel but rarely ever name. They let movement become a negotiation. Life is defined by movement. Yet for so many, as the years pass, moving becomes something you bargain with. I'll take a walk if my knee feels okay. I'll do some stretching if I'm not too tired. I'll go out if it's not too cold. But your body isn't negotiating, your body is listening. It keeps a perfect score of what you do, and more importantly, what you don't do. And when purposeful movement stops being a priority, your body doesn't just wait for you. It begins a quiet, orderly shutdown. Your muscles get smaller, your bones become more porous, your balance system gets rusty, your circulation slows. Your body simply starts to obey the new instruction you're giving it: do less. For most seniors, this isn't a single decision. It's a slow creep. You stop working, so the daily commute walk is gone. You find yourself spending more time on the couch. A flight of stairs feels daunting, so you take the elevator. Sitting becomes the default state, not just for eating, but for watching TV, for reading, for existing. And very quickly, movement shifts from something you initiate to something you endure. You walk to the kitchen because you have to. You bend over because you drop something. You go outside for an appointment. Your world has become reactive, and in the process, both your body and your world have shrunk. But here is the part that gets missed. This isn't just about your physical frame. Yes, without movement, your muscles wither, your joints ache, and your bones get brittle. But the real damage is deeper. Movement is information for your brain. Every step you take sends a cascade of signals up your spine, lighting up your nervous system. These signals are what keep you alert. They regulate your mood. They are a constant reminder to your entire system: I am active. I have a role to play. The second you stop moving with intention, that stream of information dries up. Your brain's activity dims. You feel foggy, less sharp, chronically tired. Your confidence erodes, and you begin to lose a piece of your identity, because how we move, how we stand, walk, and carry ourselves is a physical declaration that we are living, not just waiting. This is why shuffling around your home is not enough. It's better than being completely sedentary, but it's survival motion, not functional motion. It's done on autopilot. It does nothing to challenge your posture, strengthen your core, or sharpen your balance. It keeps you on your feet for today. But over the long term, it allows your key muscles to go dormant. It lets weakness creep into the very foundation of your strength. What you must reclaim is deliberate movement. Movement that demands your attention, your control, your presence. I'm not talking about training for a 5K or becoming a bodybuilder. I'm talking about keeping your body's machinery well oiled. That requires some form of resistance, even if it's just your own body weight or a simple band. It requires focused stretching, not just a random bend. It requires exercises to keep your spine tall and your hips strong. And it absolutely requires walking with intent, preferably outside, every single day, where uneven ground forces you to engage your balance and focus on your stride. Every time you move with purpose, you send a powerful message to your nervous system: I am still in the game. Keep me ready. And your body will listen. Your circulation will improve. Your hormones will find a better balance. Your digestion will work better. Your mood will lift. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need a complicated routine. You just need to re-establish movement as your daily, non-negotiable medicine. Because when you stop, the decline doesn't politely wait, it rushes in. First, you notice small things. Your legs feel heavy after a short walk. You stumble more easily. But it accelerates. You lose muscle, not to a disease but to disuse. You lose bone density, not to age but to stillness. And as your posture starts to curve inward, your lungs have less room, your balance falters, and your confidence shatters. Movement isn't what you do on a good day. It's the very thing that creates good days. It's what keeps your systems running, your mind clear, and your spirit engaged. It's your body's way of knowing you are still a participant in this world. So ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you moved for the sake of your health, not just out of necessity? When did you last take a walk, not just to the mailbox, but around the neighborhood with your head up and your shoulders back? When did you last intentionally stretch and remind your body that it was designed for motion? Don't let comfort make you weak. Don't let the couch steal your strength. Don't let stillness become your default. You don't need hours, you need minutes every day to send the signal, I am here, I am moving, I choose to live fully, because life is motion. And a real, vibrant life is found in that very next step. They feed their habits, not their cells. There's a subtle change that happens in the way people eat as they get older, and it's dangerously easy to overlook. It begins with small things, skipping a meal because you're not that hungry, or choosing softer foods because they're just easier, eating something quick because cooking for one feels like a chore. But slowly, eating shifts from an act of fueling the body to an act of soothing the mind. Food becomes a routine driven by emotion, convenience, or nostalgia. And while there's a place for that, it becomes a problem when comfort becomes the primary driver. Because your body, especially after 60, isn't asking for comfort. It's crying out for reinforcement. Here's the reality: your digestive system is not the same as it was. Your stomach makes less acid. Your gut microbiome is different. Your body is less effective at pulling out key nutrients, particularly protein, vitamin B12, magnesium, and vitamin D. You lose muscle more easily, you store fat more readily, and your insulin response is slower. This means the diet that was good enough at 35 is actively working against you at 65. If you keep eating the same old things, your body isn't just aging, it's being quietly dismantled from the inside, one cell at a time. Yet what do most older adults turn to? The familiar. The toast, the pasta, the potatoes, the crackers, the cookies, the processed meats, the easy, soft, sweet, and salty. These foods provide a moment of comfort, but they are nutritionally bankrupt. They send your blood sugar on a roller coaster, promote inflammation, and leave your cells under-equipped for their job. You may feel full, but your body is starving for the actual building blocks of life. Over time, that cellular starvation manifests as fatigue, achy joints, mental fog, a weak immune system, and wounds that heal slowly. You're not just getting old, you're becoming under-fueled. And here's what so many fail to connect. This kind of eating doesn't just impact your body, it sabotages your mind. Highly processed, carbohydrate, heavy foods have a sedating effect. They dull your mental clarity, drain your energy, and trigger inflammation that directly affects your brain, disrupting neurotransmitters and worsening feelings of depression. That afternoon crash that requires a nap, that persistent mental haze you can't seem to clear, that constant feeling of being bloated and sluggish, that isn't your age. That's your plate. You aren't what you eat, you are what your body can actually use. And if your cells are drowning in sugar and deprived of fiber and essential nutrients, they cannot repair tissue, they cannot build muscle, they cannot protect your organs, they cannot keep your nervous system firing correctly. When you eat primarily for comfort, you are actively choosing to subtract vitality from your life. Your body might be running, but it's not thriving, it's just getting by. And that's the slow decay nobody warns you about. It's the difference between aging well and just getting old. So, what does it mean to eat with purpose? It means putting function before flavor, at least most of the time. It means designing your meals around protein, lean meat, fish, eggs, beans, because muscle is the armor of aging. Lose it and everything else weakens. It means actively seeking out fiber from vegetables, fruits, and whole grains because your digestive system needs that raw edge to work properly. It means drastically cutting back on sugar, not just for your waistline, but because sugar is a primary driver of inflammation and an energy thief. And it means hydrating with water, not a constant stream of juice, soda, or even coffee, because your cells are desperate for clean fluid. Eating well isn't about deprivation, it's about showing respect. Respect for what your body requires in this chapter of life. Respect for your future self by giving it a strong foundation today. You don't have to be a nutritionist, you just have to be honest with yourself. Are you fueling your body, or are you just numbing a feeling? Are you eating to be strong, sharp, and mobile, or are you eating to kill time, soothe boredom, or because it's easy? A single change can start a revolution. Swapping your morning cereal for a couple of eggs, replacing one soda a day with a glass of water, adding a simple salad to your dinner, choosing to skip the evening cookies. These small acts send a new, powerful signal to your body. I'm still invested, I am paying attention, I want to thrive. And your body will answer with more energy, a better mood, deeper sleep, and a clearer mind. You don't need perfect meals, you need purposeful meals. Because after 60, food stops being just food. It's your medicine, it's your momentum. It's the message you send to every cell that you are not winding down, you're fueling up. They allow their world to go quiet. Human connection isn't a bonus feature in life. It's not just a nice to have. For the aging mind and body, meaningful connection is a biological necessity. It's a primary regulator for your nervous system. It's what keeps your brain firing, your heart resilient, and your spirit engaged. But as people get older, a quiet shrinking process often begins, so gradually it's almost invisible. They make fewer phone calls. They decline more invitations. Family gatherings feel like too much effort. Conversations become shorter, days become quieter. And that creeping silence creates a form of isolation that can be more destructive than most diseases. When you unplug from people, your body registers it as a threat. Study after study confirms that social isolation is a greater risk factor for premature death than obesity, excessive drinking, and even a sedentary lifestyle. It drives up cortisol, your main stress hormone. It weakens your immune response. It fuels systemic inflammation. It's directly linked to cognitive decline, anxiety, depression, and heart problems. You might still be physically present, but your cells start behaving as if you've already given up. And yet, it's a story we see everywhere. Sometimes retirement is the trigger. The daily interaction with colleagues vanishes. Your routine disappears. Your world, once structured and full, becomes emptier. Other times, it's about health. Mobility issues make leaving the house a monumental task. Friends move away or pass on. The phone doesn't ring as much, and you find yourself alone for hours or even days, not because you chose it, but because you've started to accept it as the new normal. But loneliness isn't normal. It's not just a feeling, it's a physiological state that exacts a heavy price on your health. Here's the science most don't know: social interaction is a workout for your brain. When you have a real conversation, your brain is firing on all cylinders. You're decoding language, accessing memories, interpreting nonverbal cues, mirroring emotion, and navigating the back and forth rhythm. It's what keeps your mind agile. A good laugh releases dopamine. Genuine listening fosters empathy. A simple hug can lower blood pressure and calm the heart. These are not minor effects. They are the invisible forces that regulate your entire internal state. And when you remove them, your body's connection to life begins to fray. That's why just being in a crowd isn't enough. You need true interaction, a real connection that sends the message: you belong. Your experience matters. Someone sees you. It could be a weekly phone call, a coffee with a neighbor, joining a book club, or volunteering. These are not optional activities. They are essential for your health. When you feel seen, heard, and needed, your entire biology changes for the better. You stand a little straighter. You think more clearly. You feel more alive. Your cells remember their purpose. Conversely, when people stop making an effort to connect, and just as importantly, stop letting others in, the decline happens faster than you can imagine. It might start as forgetfulness. Then your sleep gets worse. Your motivation evaporates. You stop caring about how you look, what you eat, or how you move. You start to fade from the inside out, long before your body gives way. It's not your heart that gives up first, it's your connection. Yes, the modern world can feel alienating. It's loud, fast, and digital. People text instead of talk. But that is precisely why you must make the effort to stay in it. You don't have to follow every trend. You just have to remain human. Remain present. Be the one to initiate. Call your kids. Send a message to an old friend. Go to that community meeting, even if you feel awkward. Because the longer you stay engaged with the world, the longer your body and mind will stay engaged with you. Let's be honest, it requires courage. It's far easier to retreat, to say, "No, thank you," and stay home. But if you want to defend your health, your memory, and your resilience, you need people, not an army of friends. Just a few who breathe life into your days, who listen to you, challenge you, and remind you that you are still vital. You never outgrow your need for connection. You only grow into a deeper understanding of it. So ask yourself this: when was the last time you reached out first, without waiting for someone to contact you? When did you last have a real, in-person conversation that made you think or laugh? When was the last time you felt the simple, grounding power of a hug? These things are not extras. They are your fuel. They are a core part of your longevity plan, whether you know it or not. Because here is the simple truth: the moment you stop being a part of the world, your body begins its preparation to leave it. But the moment you choose to reconnect, to be seen, to be present, everything within you shifts back towards life. You don't need a crowd. You need connection. Deep, consistent, and real. Don't let your world shrink. Expand it, even if it's just by one conversation. They treat sleep as a bug, not a feature. One of the most damaging myths of aging is that sleeping badly is just part of the deal. That once you pass 60 or 70, you're just fated to have broken nights, hours of tossing and turning, and waking up long before you're ready. This isn't just false, it's dangerous. Poor sleep isn't some benign symptom of getting older. It's a flashing red light on your body's dashboard, signaling that your core systems, your brain, your hormones, your immunity, are under serious strain. And if you ignore that light, the internal damage quietly accumulates, night after night. Most people don't see the direct line between sleep and their long-term health. They view it as simple rest, something that's negotiable. But sleep isn't rest. It's a deep biological process of reconstruction. It's when your brain flushes out toxic proteins. It's when your immune system rearms itself. It's when your hormones are recalibrated. It's when your memories are sorted and stored. It's when your body fundamentally decides between repair and decay. If you're waking up constantly, depending on pills to fall asleep, or feeling heavy and foggy every single morning, you're not just tired, you are accelerating the aging process. Sleep deprivation literally shrinks your brain. This isn't a scare tactic, it's visible on brain scans. A brain starved of quality sleep doesn't just feel sluggish, it physically loses volume over time. And the areas that take the biggest hit are those responsible for memory, focus, emotional control, and sound judgment. You start struggling for names, you lose your temper more easily, you become anxious or withdrawn, not due to a change in personality, but due to a breakdown in brain maintenance. And the damage extends far beyond the brain. Poor sleep devastates your immune system. Even a single night of bad sleep compromises your body's defenses against infection. Chronic sleep problems fuel inflammation, the very same low-grade, systemic inflammation implicated in heart disease, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and diabetes. Your joints hurt more, your gut is more irritable, your body heals more slowly, and the most insidious part is that it all feels manageable. I'm just a bit tired, but on the inside a storm is brewing. Despite all this, countless older adults simply resign themselves to poor sleep. They say, it is what it is. They pop a pill, scroll on a bright screen, or fall asleep with the TV on, thinking any rest is good rest. But that type of sleep, fragmented, shallow, or chemically induced, doesn't restore you. It just anesthetizes you. It places your nervous system in a state of limbo where it never gets the signal to fully repair. And that chronic wear and tear grinds you down in ways you can't see until it's too late. The answer isn't just getting more sleep, it's getting better sleep. And better sleep is not an accident, it's an act of discipline. It means protecting your body's natural rhythm, your circadian clock, as fiercely as you'd protect any other aspect of your health. Because it is your health. This means turning down the lights at night. Your body follows light cues. Bright lights late at night scream, "It's still daytime," to your brain, which suppresses melatonin and robs you of deep sleep. The solution: dim your environment after sundown. Put away the screens at least an hour before bed. Let your body sense the transition. Temperature is also critical. Your body's core temperature needs to drop slightly to enter the deepest, most restorative stages of sleep. A bedroom that's too warm actively prevents this. Sleeping in a cool room around 65 degrees or 18 degrees C can dramatically improve your sleep quality. If you wake up sweating or feeling restless, your thermostat could be the culprit. Supplements like magnesium glycinate can be a huge help. These aren't sleeping pills that just knock you out. They are natural aids that help calm the nervous system, giving your body permission to relax. Combine that with simple, slow breathing before bed, and you are directly activating the rest and digest system that signals safety to your body. But above all, it's about making sleep a priority, not an afterthought. You would never skip eating for days and expect to feel strong. You cannot consistently skip high-quality sleep and expect your mind or body to stay resilient. You must treat your bedtime as a sacred ritual, a time to disconnect from the world so your body can reconnect with itself and heal. If you are struggling with sleep, do not accept it. Talk to your doctor. Look into a sleep study to rule out apnea. Optimize your bedroom. Create a wind-down routine. Make sleep something you earn and protect. Because when you finally get good sleep, everything changes for the better. Your memory, your energy, your mood, your immunity. You don't need perfect sleep, but you need purposeful sleep. And you are never too old to fix it. Your body is still trying to heal itself. But it can't do its job if you're working against it every single night. Don't let fatigue become your new normal. Choose rest that rebuilds you. Because every night of poor sleep is a night you borrow from your future. They lose their why. This is the final point, and it's the most difficult, not because it's uncommon, but because it's an invisible epidemic. It's a quiet, internal shift that's impossible to see from the outside, but is profoundly felt on the inside. It's the moment a person stops having something to move toward, when every day starts to feel the same, when there is no goal to aim for, nothing to nurture, nothing to protect, nothing to learn. It isn't a loss of things to do, it's a loss of a reason to do them. And when the why disappears, the body often follows. Purpose is not your old job title. It's not about being busy or productive. Purpose is a choice. It's the decision to stay invested in something outside of yourself. It can be caring for your health so you can be there for others. It can be supporting a loved one. It can be sharing what you've learned. It can be mastering a new skill. It can be as simple as waking up with the thought, I still have a contribution to make today. It's not about being occupied. It's about being your nervous system feels needed. It stays online, sharp and responsive. But when it senses it's no longer required, it begins to power down. Slowly, perhaps unwillingly, but inevitably. The danger is that most people retire from more than just their career. They retire from structure, from challenges, from the very forward momentum that kept them vital. The alarm clock is gone, the deadlines are gone. For a little while this can feel like freedom, but prolonged stillness is not freedom, it's decline. The body starts to slacken, muscle tone diminishes, posture droops, appetite wanes, sleep becomes shallow, hormones shift, the very spark in the soul, the part that once burned with focus, grows dim. You can see it in a person's eyes, hear it in their voice, and notice it in their walk. People who were once dynamic and forward-looking start to seem muted. Their gaze drops, their voice softens, their world of choices narrows, their steps become a shuffle. This isn't just aging. This is what happens when a person no longer feels a sense of mission. When there's no reason to try hard, no one relying on them, nothing to look forward to. And here's the unvarnished truth: without a reason, the human body begins to prepare for its own obsolescence. Not overnight, but step by step. The immune system decides defense is less critical. The brain decides sharp memories are no longer a priority, so it lets them fade. The eyes don't need to see as far. The spine doesn't need to stand as tall. These are not just random effects of time. They are the physiological consequences of being disconnected from meaning. Your body, being incredibly efficient, will not expend energy on a system that has no mission. But here is the incredible news. Purpose is renewable. It can be found or created at any age by anyone. It does not require a massive project or public recognition. It can start with one simple, powerful question: what can I give? That question is an ignition switch for your nervous system. It brings focus back into your eyes. It straightens your spine. It strengthens your resolve. It signals to your entire biology, we're not done yet, stay sharp. Your purpose can be small and deeply personal: tending to a garden with care, truly listening when your grandchild calls, offering your experience to a younger person, reading a challenging book, learning to cook something new, staying strong so you can help someone else. You don't need an audience. You just need a responsibility, even if it's only to yourself. Because the moment you claim ownership, the moment you decide that your life is not in a waiting room, your biology begins to change. You'll eat better, you'll move more, you'll sleep more soundly. Why? Because your body takes its cues from your mind, and your mind is fueled by purpose. When you declare, "I am not finished," your cells get the message, your brain re-engages. You stop drifting and start steering again. Don't let anyone tell you that your most important years are over. Don't fall for the lie that retirement is a release from meaning. You don't retire from being a leader in your own life. You don't retire from caring. If you woke up this morning, you are still being called to participate. Don't be a passive observer of your own life. Don't just let time pass. The clock is ticking, yes, but the real question is, are you still in the game? Purpose will not come knocking on your door. You forge it with your choices, with your focus, with your will. Choose something to show up for, because the moment you live without a why, your body starts to wonder why it's here at all. And the moment you give it a why, again your body remembers its job, and it begins to rebuild your life from the cells up. You don't need a grand mission, you need a reason. A garden, a grandchild, a volunteer group, a cause. Anything that reminds you, I matter. The final truth is this: most people don't die simply because they get old. They decline because they stop taking an active part in their own existence. Don't wait for a health scare to remind you to live. Live now, with deliberate movement, with purposeful fuel, with real connection, with restorative sleep, and with a reason to get up in the morning. Because the finish line is never guaranteed, but how you run the race is entirely up to you.